Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland BROWNS. Let's get to the news. When we talk about the Cleveland Browns, it's impossible not to feel a mix of anticipation, hope, and a little bit of uncertainty. Over the past few seasons, this franchise has been through a roller coaster of emotions, from the highs of playoff appearances to the lows of injuries and setbacks. And right now, as we head into the 2024 NFL season, all eyes are on one player, Deshaun Watson. The question that's on everyone's mind: will he be able to return to form? Will he help propel this team back to the postseason and who knows, maybe beyond? But the reality is, Watson's injury history and the current state of his recovery are casting a long shadow over the Browns' future prospects. Let's take a step back and look at what's been happening. Deshaun Watson, a quarterback who has always been known for his talent, arm strength, and playmaking ability, has had a rough go since joining Cleveland. His arrival was supposed to mark a new era, a chance for the Browns to finally break that playoff drought and make a serious Super Bowl push. But his tenure has been marred by injuries, suspensions, and questions about his performance. Since arriving in Cleveland, Watson has only played in 19 games across 3 seasons. That's less than what fans would want, especially considering the massive investment the Browns made to acquire him. When the Browns traded multiple draft picks, including key assets, to bring Watson from Houston, expectations skyrocketed. The team was counting on him to be the franchise quarterback, the piece that would finally put Cleveland over the top. But things haven't gone smoothly. In 2022, his first year with the Browns, Watson faced a lengthy suspension due to off-field issues, which meant he was sidelined for the first part of the season. Once he finally stepped onto the field, inconsistency and lingering rust were evident. He threw for 177 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions in just 6 games, a stat line that left fans and analysts alike wondering if he was truly back to his best. Fast forward to 2023, and Watson's performance didn't do much to dispel those doubts. He played in only 13 games, passing for 348 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. It was a season filled with flashes of brilliance, but also moments of uncertainty, often marred by injury concerns. And now, as we look ahead to 2024, the big question is, will he be able to get healthy enough to contribute meaningfully? Or are the injuries, specifically that Achilles tear, going to keep him sidelined longer than expected? Because yes, Watson is still recovering from an Achilles injury that he initially suffered in October of the previous year, during a game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Achilles injuries are notoriously tricky, especially for quarterbacks who rely on explosive movements, quick cuts, and throwing power. The initial prognosis was that Watson might be able to return to practice sometime in October, as some sources indicated, but that's far from a guarantee. Cleveland's coaching staff and medical team are proceeding with caution, understanding the risks involved. They don't want to rush him back and risk further injury, especially given the importance of preserving his long-term health and the team's future. Mary Kay Cabot, a trusted voice in Browns coverage, clarified that while some sources are optimistic about Watson returning to practice in October, it's still very much up in the air whether he'll be ready to play. She's been reporting that Watson has been throwing to some receivers in the building, which is a positive sign. It indicates that he's making progress, but the team is still in that delicate phase of rehab and evaluation. The Browns, understandably, are taking a cautious approach. They have 4 quarterbacks currently vying for the starting job during training camp: Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and the rookies Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. All of these players are pushing hard, and with Watson's status so uncertain, the coaching staff will likely prioritize getting all 4 ready before making any decisions about activating Watson. This cautious approach makes sense from a strategic point of view. Cleveland's front office and coaching staff know how much is riding on this season. They're aware that rushing Watson back could jeopardize the entire campaign. And besides, with 4 quarterbacks in the mix, there's a good chance that Cleveland could start the season without Watson taking a snap. The team's depth at the position is deeper than in previous years, and that's a testament to how much the organization has adapted and improved its roster. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture, the contract and the insurance policy. Watson signed a groundbreaking deal, a 5-year, $230 million fully guaranteed contract. It was one of the most significant contracts in NFL history, and it set the tone for how teams value franchise quarterbacks in the modern era. But that contract also comes with its complications. The Browns have an insurance policy on Watson's deal, which could become a major factor if he's deemed medically unable to play. This insurance would allow Cleveland to recover a significant portion of his salary and cap space if he's sidelined due to his Achilles injury. In essence, it's a financial safety net, but it also adds a layer of complexity to the team's plans. If Watson is medically cleared and able to play, the situation could get contentious. Some experts suggest that the Browns might prefer to keep him on the sidelines to maximize their financial recovery. Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk has mentioned that if Watson gets a clean bill of health, Cleveland's management might be tempted to keep him out of the lineup, especially if they believe they can still compete without him. The team's current quarterback room, featuring veteran Joe Flacco, rookie Kenny Pickett, and the young guns Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, indicates they're prepared to move forward regardless. It's a pragmatic approach, but it also reflects the franchise's cautious stance given the injury history and the significant investment they made in Watson. But here's the thing, fans, the whole situation is complicated. Watson's time in Cleveland has been filled with ups and downs. His talent is undeniable, but his inability to consistently stay healthy and perform at the expected level has cast a shadow over his reputation. The Browns gave him a second chance, and many believed he could be the answer to their quarterback woes. Unfortunately, injuries and off-field controversies have hampered that hope. The team's ownership, especially Jimmy Haslam, has publicly acknowledged that the Watson trade was a bit of a gamble gone wrong. He admitted that the Browns took a big swing and miss, and that they're now trying to dig themselves out of the hole created by that move. This season, will Watson finally stay healthy and show the Browns why they believed in him, or will he continue to be a question mark? The team's coaching staff and front office are certainly aware of the stakes. They've built a roster around the idea that they might have to move forward without him, and that's a significant shift from the initial plans. Cleveland's defense has been solid, and their offensive line has been bolstered in recent drafts, but the quarterback position remains the most critical piece of the puzzle. If Watson can return to form, the Browns could be dark horse contenders in the AFC. But if not, they'll need to rely heavily on their depth and the development of their young quarterbacks. Looking at the broader landscape of the AFC North, this division is shaping up to be more competitive than ever. The Cincinnati Bengals, led by Joe Burrow, are loaded with talent on both sides of the ball. The Baltimore Ravens are always a threat with their innovative offense and stout defense, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, under Mike Tomlin, never seem to rebuild, they just reload. Cleveland's hope is to carve out their space in this tight race, and Watson's health and performance will be a significant factor in whether they do that or not. The fans have been patient, waiting for a sign that their team is back on track, and this season could be that turning point or another chapter of what-ifs. The Browns are a team with a rich history, passionate fans, and a roster full of talent, but they've struggled to find consistency at the most critical position. All eyes will be on Watson as he gradually makes his way back, but the overall team effort, the coaching staff, and the resilience of Cleveland's roster will determine their fate. In recent years, Cleveland has been known for its passionate fan base, the dog pound, and their unwavering support, even through tough times. The city's sports culture is vibrant, and Browns fans are some of the most dedicated in the league. They've endured heartbreaks, close calls, and rebuilds, but their love for their team never wavers. And now, with all the uncertainty surrounding Watson's return, it's a test of patience and faith. Will he come back and lead them to the promised land? Or will injuries and circumstances keep the Browns from reaching the heights they've been aiming for? As we look ahead to the upcoming season, it's clear that Cleveland's success hinges heavily on Watson's health and performance. But it's also about the collective effort, the coaching staff's strategy, the development of young players, and the team's resilience in facing adversity. The Browns are at a crossroads, and the decisions made in the coming weeks could define the franchise's trajectory for years to come. It's a story filled with hope, drama, and uncertainty, and that's what makes it so compelling for fans who bleed orange and brown. So, in summary, the Browns are in a critical phase of their rebuild. They have a talented roster, a dedicated fan base, and a quarterback who, if healthy, can be a game changer. But injuries, contract intricacies, and the competitive AFC North all add layers of complexity. Will Watson be able to overcome these hurdles? Will he play a pivotal role in Cleveland's quest for a Super Bowl? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, this season promises to be one of the most intriguing in recent memory for Browns fans. Pause here, just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this situation? Do you believe Watson will come back strong enough to lead this team? Or are you worried that injuries and the past might continue to hold him back? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Browns. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. This franchise has a storied history, and every season brings new hope. Let's see how it unfolds, and no matter what, keep that passionate Browns spirit alive. We're all in this together.